Hi everyone. Wait, I literally hate that YouTube voice thing. Like that's not even what I really sound like. My voice is actually pretty deep, so I don't know why I started like that. So let's start over. Um Hi everyone. My name is Tito and I post about financial content. I post about like not lifestyle by any means, mostly financial content because that's the thing that I care about the most. And so I told myself in 2026 I was going to start posting online because the only thing I talk about in my everyday with my friends is money and finances, and it's something that I stress over all the time, specifically because I'm trying to pay off my grad school debt as fast as humanly possible. I can't describe it. I think about it every day. I check my loan portals every day. It's not healthy by any means, but that's what I do. And so I felt like posting on social media would be an outlet for that constant thought process and anxiety. And also, I knew that there were other people who also cared about stuff like this because I would literally sit on my couch and watch other YouTubers and TikTokers post about financial content and what they're doing to save money and investing and paying off debt and all of that. So I told myself, like I said in 2026, that I am going to do the same thing because why not? I have always been a little bit fascinated by the creator space. I used to post on YouTube when I was really young, like when I was like 13 years old, and I would make stupid YouTube videos with my friends, and I was never shy to post them. And it was something that I found actually really fun. And I feel like it was something that I filled my free time with when I was younger. Now we have social media, so you can spend all day in a dark hole, like scrolling. And I'm trying to get myself off of that in 2026 as well. If any of that sings to you, I would love if you would subscribe to my YouTube page. I've been trying to like play coy and be like cute and fun and being like, oh guys, like, hey, I'm just a girl. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, join the train. You'll see my videos every single week. Like, you don't enjoy this? Like, are you not having a blast? Subscribe, please. Come on. Please help a girl out. Anyway, okay. Well, today's video is my February 2026 reset, financial reset, but also like general goals. I've noticed since graduating from school, I love setting goals for myself every month. I just do it naturally, whether it's like I'm going to walk 10K steps every day in February, or I'm going to go to the gym every day in March, or I'm going to save X amount of money in June. Like I am somebody that really likes to set goals for themselves every single month. I think it just makes the month more interesting. It makes me feel like I have something to strive for. I usually spend the beginning of each month setting up my financial goals for the month. Now I'm going to try to, this sun is really coming in and I hope it doesn't look like garbage. It's really coming in and it's really hitting this spot where I'm at right now. Anyway, usually at the beginning of the month, I do my reset and I set my budget for the month and I like finish doing all my tracking from the month before for my budget tracker. But I'm now going to also sprinkle in and let you guys know my goals for the month more generally in my life. And hopefully when I give you guys the update at the beginning of the next month, you can hold me accountable for whether or not I reach the goals that I talked about. I think I'm already falling behind on some of them because we're already a week into February. Okay, so yeah, so this is my February reset. First, I want to start with a few of my favorites for the month of January. Not only is this going to be a February reset and looking towards February and what my goals are, I'm also going to recap January. So that's like the things that I spent in January, how I did on the goals that I set for myself. I have a budget tracker that I use that I cannot live without. I literally cannot say more about the budget tracker. I'll show a bit about that later, but I have a budget tracker that I use and I'm obsessed with. And so that really helps me stay on track with my goals. So I'll do a little recap of January, including some of my January favorites. So I have a few DC Recs, also my favorite movies and TV shows from January. So starting with my January favorites, starting with my favorite movies from January, I'm not a super big movie person. It like honestly takes a lot for me to go see a movie or like to go like to stream a movie at my house. I just don't think I have the attention span for it, but I am also trying to build back my attention span because I think social media literally destroyed it. And I have no one to blame but myself because I love to scroll on it. But anyway, so my favorite movie from January, and by movies I mean literally one single movie, and it was the only movie I saw but it was so worth it, was Zootopia 2. I saw Zootopia like the first one when it came out when I was in college, and I apparently was obsessed with it. I actually didn't remember that I was obsessed with it, but my fiance did remind me that I loved it. And so my friends and I went to go see Zootopia 2 a few weeks ago, and I honestly really recommend. Like I know it's a kids movie, but it's like funny and silly, and I love a kids movie. If it's done well, I'm ready to watch it. I'm not judgmental about it being a kids movie, so definitely recommend Zootopia 2 if it's still in theaters, which it probably should be. If not, catch it on streaming. You should definitely watch it. Moving on to my TV show favorites for the month of January. Okay, so the first one, this TV show has literally taken control of my whole life. I cannot recommend Traders US. I think it's season 4 enough. Yeah, it's season 4. I cannot recommend the show enough. It is so good. If you don't know, Traders is a show. Basically, it's like Mafia where there are people who are the murderers and then there are like townspeople. But in the show, they call them like traitors and faithfuls. And in the beginning of the show, they first of all, they bring people from all different reality, like different realms of TV and like pop culture and sports. So like They have like Colton from The Bachelor on it and Rob from Love Island. And then they have a bunch of housewives, but they also have figure skaters and this guy from One Tree Hill, Steven. Like they even have Travis Kelsey's mom like in the season. And they'll bring them into this house. And it's like a fun reality show because it's not too much pressure and it's not like the scripted, but also fake, but also brain rotting kind of show. It's a lot of strategy. And so then they'll pick a few traitors and the traitors have to go around and kill a faithful every single night, and try to make it through to the end of the season without being identified as a traitor. And whichever side wins at the end wins the money. And I literally cannot recommend enough. It's on Peacock Thursdays at 9 p.m. And literally Thursday at 9 p.m. I either need to be sat in front of that TV or I have to turn my phone off because all my friends and I are talking about it. And I literally can't recommend enough. What else am I loving? Bridgerton season 4 is back. They dropped 4 of the 8 episodes, and so that's on Netflix. Obviously, Bridgerton has taken like the world by storm, and it's been on for a few years. I really loved season 1 and 2. I didn't love season 3 as much, and I also didn't really finish it. But season 4, we are so back, baby. Bridgerton is so back. It's so good. This season, it's following Anthony Benedict. Okay, so this season it's following Benedict and also like a little bit Francesca, a little bit Eloise, like a little bit of mix, but the main love story line is following Benedict and I cannot recommend the season enough. I love it. I watched all 4 episodes in one sitting. I was so obsessed and then I realized that the next set wasn't coming out till the end of February and I was going to crash out. So if you haven't started Bridgerton yet, I highly recommend that you do. My last TV show rec and obsession from January was Heated Rivalry. Like everybody else has been obsessed with the show. It took me a while to get into it because I'm more of a plotline girl. Like I love a plotline. So episodes 1 and 2 weren't really giving the plotline that I needed, but episode 3 really had me hooked. I was so obsessed with episode 3. And then the rest of it was great. There's 6 episodes. It's on HBO. It's about 2 hockey players who are from different teams. Well, it's about a few different hockey players, but hockey in general, love stories, hockey, everything you can imagine. I highly recommend. It's on HBO. It was started off as like a Canadian show that like they had a pretty low budget and they filmed it and then HBO picked it up like a few days before it was about to air. I watched episode 1 and 2 on one day and my friends were so obsessed with it that they were like, no, you literally have to watch it. So that's what kept me going. I watched 3, 4, 5, 6 all in one row on my couch. Granted, the snowstorm that happened like through the Northeast was super helpful because I could just sit here and watch TV, but I also recommend Heated Rivalry. Yeah, you have to watch. Moving on to my DC rec. So I live in DC for those of you that don't know. I've mentioned before, I am on my budget journey, saving money, paying off my loans journey. So when I do, these are the places that I cannot recommend enough. The first one is Maxwell Park. It's a wine bar in Shaw. I love that place. Like if I'm going to spend my money out on a day, if I'm going to like break the budget or if I'm going to like go waste my money somewhere, it's going to be Maxwell Park and Shaw. I cannot recommend that place enough. I highly recommend if you're visiting or if you live here and you haven't been to that wine bar, I highly recommend. Maybe I'll have more recs for you guys next month, but I hope I don't because I'm not supposed to be spending money. So those are my favorites. I'm not a big reader, or else I would do like a book series. But I can't finish a book to save my life. I'm actually reading one book right now, but it's upstairs and I don't remember the name of it, but it's like a financial book. If I like it by the end of it, I will recommend it next month, but we'll see. I'm still trying to work my way through that. So since this is my February reset video, I am gonna set some goals for the month of February and check back in at the end of the month, beginning of March, to see if I actually met those goals. Like I said, this is something that I do informally regardless, but I think that me documenting it might be really helpful for me actually achieving it, because once I tell people that I'm gonna do something, I literally have to do it or else I'm so embarrassed. So we're gonna see if I like it, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna stop doing it. So we'll see how that goes. So for those of you that don't know, my overall goal, like I said in the beginning, is to pay off my student loan debt. Like I'm so obsessed with paying off my loans. I want to pay them off as fast as possible. I was originally on track to pay them off at the end of 2026, but I am getting married this year, and so that is taking a back seat a little bit. But 2027 is my goal to finish paying them off. So everything I do is with that in mind. Like every financial move I make, every thought I have, every goal I set financially is with that in mind. So I have seen a few creators say that they're going to do a low buy or no buy February. If I'm honest, can't do a no buy February. Like my way of socializing with my friends is to go out to eat and spend money and do the whole nine. For good or for bad, that's it. And I'm not willing to put my relationships at risk because I have financial goals, which is at risk is dramatic, like my friends would understand, but that's not something that I'm really in the business of doing. So I'm not going to do a no buy, but I'm going to do a low buy. Life happens and I don't want to restrict myself to the point where I feel like I like can't do it anymore. And I've also heard that if you restrict yourself too much in one month, you end up overdoing it in the next month. And I also want to avoid that. So my goal is to just kind of constrain myself a little bit more than I usually would. That way I don't feel like I'm dying and I start tweaking next month and I overspend and I completely override everything I did in February. I have 2 goals for myself in February when it comes to the low buy month. It's pretty easy because February is a shorter month than the rest. And I have a trip already booked in February that's prepaid for, so I don't have to think about that. All that being said, my first goal is to have half of the days in February, so 14 out of 28 days, be a no buy day. I'm not really good at doing no buy days at all because first, there's always something to spend money on, even if it's something really, really small. But I'm gonna try really, really, really hard to have half of the days in February be a no spend day at all. Like not even for the necessities. Like if I am gonna go buy groceries, I'm gonna try to buy them all in one day. It's super easy for me to run to the grocery store, so I'm gonna try not to do that. And I'm gonna have half of the days in February be a no spend day. So we'll see how that works at the end of February. I don't have my phone on me. I already check how I'm doing so far this month, but let's hope that I can figure that out. The second thing that I want to do for my low buy February is to cut my eating out bill from $500 a month that I give myself to $300. I think I can do this. And I also think that I give myself a little bit too much leeway when it comes to dining out. I never buy out food by myself, or if it's just me and my fiance and we're like, I don't want to cook anything. I try not to make it so that we can justify buying food out, but I will go out to eat with my friends. And I think that I've allowed that eating out budget to get a little bit out of hand. Like to me, it is a little ridiculous to be dining out with your friends at $500 a month or $600 a month. So I'm going to try really hard to reel that in, and I'm going to make it $300 this month. And let's see how that goes. I think I can do it. Anyway. Okay. So those are my February low buy goals. And we're going to check in at the end of the month to see if I actually am able to do it. My physical goal for the month, so not everything in this life is about finances, even though I literally think it is. You still have to keep yourself healthy in other ways. And so going on to like physical health, my biggest goal in February for my physical health is I have a walking pad at the office that I love and I swear by. And so my goal is to make sure that every time I'm in the office, I walk on the walking pad for about an hour. It's gotten to the point where I go to the office and I don't really use it, and I like come up with reasons not to use it, but I do go to the office pretty frequently. So every time I'm in the office, I have to use a walking pad for at least 1 hour. That, and my goal is to close all my rings in February. I did already miss a day, so that's like causing me a little bit of stress because I'm the kind of person that's all or nothing. So if I miss one, I'm like throw the whole goal out. But my goal is to also close my rings every day in February. So I have to go to the gym later today. Also, I'm not going to close it, which sucks. So those are like my physical goals. Okay. And then when it comes to my mental goals, this also ties into my financial goals. Shocker. Like I said, that's the only thing I care about, is that I am going to try to set better boundaries when it comes to spending money. Like I went to dinner the other day with 2 friends. We ended up spending like less than $20, but one of my friends was like, oh, I'm not eating or drinking today, so I'm just going to come and hang out. And I realized that I actually can do that too. Like there's so many times that I go out with my friends that I want to go hang out with them, but I don't want to spend money for whatever reason. And instead of just saying, hey, no, I actually don't want to spend money today, I end up spending $100. Hence my original budget goal that we talked about. So I think my goal for February is to practice just saying no. Like if I don't want to spend money on something, or if I don't want to do it, you can still go, but you don't have to spend the money. I think that would do a lot for my mental health. So those are my February goals. Hopefully I can come back in March and say that I reached all of them. We'll literally see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Now on to my favorite part of these videos. I am going to recap how much money I spent in the month of January. January is super exciting because this is the first month that I got a payout for my budget tracker. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I have a budget tracker that I swear by, and I started selling it on Etsy. And this was the first month that I got an actual payout for that work. And so I was able to like add it to my income line in my budget tracker. Usually it's just my money for my job, but this was the first time that I got to add income from a budget tracker, which I'm so thankful for. It was $33. But that's better than 0. So I'm hoping to see that go up over the next few months, but that was a huge, 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 huge win. So this is my January recap for the things and the money that I spent. I spent $2,125 on rent, which is the same amount that I spend every single month. Very predictable. The bills section generally is pretty predictable because it's the same thing every single month. I spent $49.58 on my internet. I spent $13.96 on my phone. This includes my iCloud storage and my protection plan, $13.96. I spent $117.85 on car insurance. Shout out to Geico. I spent $228.97 on my fitness membership. I know this is pretty high for fitness membership, but this is mostly comprised of my solid core membership, which is like $203 or something like that. And then the rest of it is my Planet Fitness membership. I do use both actively, and so that's why I'm comfortable keeping it this high. I did have ClassPass for a while, but I did get rid of that because it just felt like I wasn't using all of it to its potential. But now I am pretty good at going to Planet Fitness, and I definitely use my solid core membership. So that's why that's where it is. We actually didn't have have a cleaner come in January. So I saved because the cleaner was supposed to come at the very end of January and then we got that storm. So I didn't spend that money. I also paid for the cleaner at my parents' house and they didn't have the cleaner come either. So I just realized I didn't spend that $200. That's huge for the program. Okay. Then my credit card fee of $10, which I just like mentally put away. So that's my fixed bills for the month. Now moving on to my expenses. As you can see, I spent $297.62 on groceries, which is incredible, right underneath my budget of $300. I ate that one up. The next one, though, was a flop. The next one of $647.05 for eating out is insane work. And this is why in February, my budget is $300 for myself because this is actually insane. Like, there's no need for me to be running around town like this, like a crazy person. Like, I have a house. If I want to hang out with my friends, I can hang out with them inside the house. It doesn't need to be at a restaurant. So that's a flop. But that's okay because the next one, $95.41 on fuel and car-related expenses. Thank God we are under budget. I didn't go to New Jersey as much as I usually do in the month of January. So that was great. I saved a lot on gas. We love that. Amazing, beautiful, wonderful. Shopping, $8 out of a budget of 70. I ate that one as well. That's incredible. I think the $8 was like ChatGPT or something. And I put it under shopping because I didn't really know where to put it. Incredible, incredible work. Beauty, $0. This is a positive for right now, but will be a negative in a few months. I feel like whenever I have to buy my beauty products, I buy them all at once. For whatever reason, they just all run out at the same time. So right now, this is good for right now. It will be a flop in a few months. Entertainment and fun, $165.83. That is way over. When I filmed my January, like how to use my budget tracker video, I was already over at that point because my friends and I are doing Volo in a few weeks and I went to the movies and this was a flop. Usually I'm under entertainment and fun for the month. I don't spend a ton on like movies or bowling and stuff like that. So this is like really a shame that I flopped, but that's okay. Transportation, another flop, $180.69. I'm going to chalk this up to the weather being really bad, it getting darker later, Ubering being more of a necessity. We will tighten that up in February. That's another goal. Self-care, $175.78. Part of that is because I got my hair done. And then part of it is because I bought a nail kit that I'm now realizing I haven't touched in a month. And this is why I love the budget tracker because it makes me think, wait a minute, you overspent on something you don't use. So you either need to return it or you need to start using it. I'm going on vacation in a few months. My goal is to use it to do my nails so I don't have to go spend money to do them. But if I don't use that, that's going back to the store for sure. And then household goods, $10.12. I think this was for ink. So I'm under there too, which is, dare I say, incredible. So dining out was a flop. Transportation was definitely a flop and entertainment and fun was a flop. But I'm hoping that maybe in February with my low spend month, I get to like tighten that up a little bit. We have my sinking funds, which is my favorite part of my budget tracker. I've mentioned that it's a little bit confusing, but the way that it works is that I have a little bit of money from each paycheck go into different funds. So my gifts fund, my travel fund, my wedding fund, and my emergencies fund. Money goes into that separately from each paycheck, and then it's supposed to add up, and that whenever I need it, I can just pull from it instead of pulling from my overall savings account. So this month, for what I actually spent, I had a lot of friends with a lot of birthdays in January. I have like 6 friends with birthdays in January. So I did spend $342.21 on gifts. For some reason, whether it's a wedding or birthday, I always end up spending at least $300. So gifts may seem like that might seem like a lot for gifts, but I always spend that amount. I don't even know how that happens. So I went over for that. For travel, I spent $634.01. I was supposed to go on a ski trip in January, but we ended up having to cancel because of the storm. So I'm in the process of trying to get my money back. So hopefully that will be zero when I go back and change the budget. We're fighting for that right now. We'll see how that goes. Wedding, I spent $61 only in the month of January, and that was all on stamps for save the date. So go figure. Like, it's fine. Most of the money that I'm putting away for the $2,500 is for the vendors and the venue. And then my emergency fund, I never touch my emergency fund. I actually haven't touched it since I started building one, but I did have to spend $750 from the emergency fund because we had an emergency come up, and that's life. So that sucks, but that's what happened. So that's like my full January breakdown for what I spent. I love doing this because I feel like it's nice to like really get a sense of like, okay, where am I at? Where do I need to adjust for the next month? The first step is definitely tracking it and putting it in, but the next step is like using that to build your budget for the next month and being mindful of where you're bleeding money. And as we can see, I'm bleeding money from dining out. So we will be fixing that. So that's all the money that I spent in January. Something to note is that I didn't account for my student loans. I will probably work that into other videos. It's just a whole nother beast and it overwhelms me to talk about it and it sits on my mind all the time. So I try not to think about it if I don't have to. But I will work student loan payments that I make, which is a huge chunk of the money I make. I put towards my student loans, but we can talk about that in a separate video. Next, we are going to set up my February budget. Like I said, I love doing this in the beginning of each month to just get a sense of how much I want to spend in February, and it gives me something to look back on at the end of the month when I've actually inputted all of my expenses. The budget tracker that I'm using will be linked below. It's my personal budget tracker that I'm obsessed with and I use all the time and I recommend to all of my friends. You should buy it. Like, I feel like before I'm like, "Guys, this is my budget tracker, go look." No, go buy the budget tracker. Like, literally go buy it. It'll change your life. Just make one literally one small purchase will save you hundreds of dollars down the line. Go buy my budget tracker and it'll be worth every penny. This is the budget tracker that I'm obsessed with, like I said, that I keep talking about and that you should definitely go buy if you're looking for a budget tracker. So I'd like to go through every month and just add in the different numbers for the different buckets for things that I plan to spend. Bills is pretty straightforward every month. So my rent is 21.25, so that's the same every single month. My internet is 49.58. My phone is 13.69. My car insurance is 119.83, I think. My fitness membership 228.97. My cleaner goal is 200, and the cleaner will be coming this month because they didn't come last month. So that definitely will be used. And then credit card fee that I build in every month just so I'm ready for that. Like credit card fee that hits your account. Like I think it's my Chase Sapphire, $95 a year to have. And so I try to like budget money away each month. That way I can account for it when the like fee hits. Moving on to the variable expenses section. So for groceries, I'm going to stick with the 300. We like really hit that on the head with spending $297. So I'm going to keep that. Dining out, we are going to bring down to $300. And I have a goal of hitting that. Fuel and car related expenses, I'm going to do $100, I think, this time. I didn't hit the full 125 and I don't think it needs to be that high because I don't really have plans of like moving too much in February with my car. Shopping, I'm going to give myself $100 because I'm going on vacation this month. And in case I want to buy anything, I don't want to feel guilty about it. Beauty, I'm going to put 50. Like I'm going to buy lashes or something for the trip that I have. Otherwise, I don't plan on spending any money. Entertainment and fun, we're going to leave at 125 since I flopped last time. Transportation, we are also going to do 125, but I don't envision myself Ubering a ton. Self-care, I'm going to do 125 as well, just in case anything comes up. And household goods, my solid fave, $50, no more than that. It's not happening. Filling out my gifts fund and all my other sinking funds. This is pretty consistent. I do 300 for gifts fund, 400 for travel fund, 2,500 for the wedding fund, which is so painful. And that amount used to go to my loans and now it doesn't. And 250 for my emergency fund. And just to make it easy, I kind of put the same budget here because I'm always okay with spending up to that amount in a given month, but I don't want to ever spend more than that. So that's how I kind of make it make sense in my head. So this is my breakdown for what I plan to spend and budget in February. I'm very interested to see how my low buy month impacts the numbers here and whether or not I'll be over or under like I saw in January where I was clearly over for more categories than I'd like to admit, but we will see how it goes over February. Like I said, just love these like resets because it makes me feel like really grounded in my financial goals. And it's nice to check in with myself every single month before I start spending. I hope I come back with good news for you guys. But if you want to do this, like I said, buy my budget tracker. It's so helpful. You can also do it. I'm happy to always answer any questions when it comes to my budget tracker as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.